Hi, I'm Dex Gelfand, known for my practice of therapeutic spiritual counseling. And one of the things that I offer is fixing and restoring relationships. The most important thing in relationships is, of course, understanding each other. I had a very interesting epiphany when I was just 10 years old. I guess that tells you something about me, that this is the kind of thing I was thinking about even then. But I realized that if you understood why a person behaved the way they did, the real root reasons that compelled them to behave as they did, to say what they said and do what they did, then you cannot be upset with them. Doesn't necessarily mean you would agree with their choices, but you would understand. And that plays into my entire life path since then. And particularly in this case, where we're talking about what I can do to help to fix and restore relationships to their full luster. And it can be any kind of relationship, really. Of course, mostly the thing that comes to mind is intimate relationships, your spouse or romantic partner. And yes, we can fix that. We can really, really fix that. But it could also be with your boss, a friend, somebody you know socially. These can all be fixed. I've developed specific techniques for this. I'll tell you one story about using one of the techniques, and this would be about 6 or 7 years ago when I first developed it. I had one client, when I looked at his history, I saw that there were years of trying to fix his relationship with his wife. It was regarded a certain way as though she was trouble for him, which is never the right viewpoint to take about a relationship, but nevertheless, that's what it was. So we directly addressed it with what I call my opposition process, which draws attention to and cleans up the emotional feelings in charge that are residually there from the interactions between yourself and the other person. And that just took one session to do. And the funny thing was that after that session, for the next several sessions we did, the next 5, 6, 7 sessions, every session began with this client originating to me, "I can't believe it. I no longer have problems with my wife." The next 5 or 6 or 7 sessions all started out with that exclamation. That's how powerful this technique is, the opposition process. And that's sort of the point where we would start from, with that opposition process, which very much helps to clean up what's happened between the two of you and really makes a big difference in your ability to, to recognize how well you can actually see things from the other person's viewpoint and understand. It tends to be a miracle process. All 3 of these actually can be pretty miraculous. The next technique in the series is what I call personality image projection technique. What we do is we impose on each other sort of a persona. We cast onto each other images of who we see them as being to us, or who we want them to be to us. And we also cast an image toward them of how they are to regard us. And these things can be offensive. They can trap a person in behaving a certain way or regarding you a certain way. They're very limiting, and they can really damage relationships. And we all do this. We just don't recognize that we're doing this. So my personality image projection technique resolves these things. It's very, very magical in its effect, particularly at that point when you see how you can just let go of this self-image, this persona, which you yourself didn't create for yourself and you've been stuck with. Exactly the steps taken to bring you to where you can actually just let go of it. At the moment that occurs, there is an absolutely magical effect that a person feels. And when you do this in every direction, what you've done towards the other person in casting images and their images cast towards you, you feel very liberated, very free to relate directly to that person. It's very much uninhibited, and it's extremely helpful. And what I call the next and basically final step is ideal relationship envisioning and actualizing. Now, this can be done after you've cleaned up the negatives that have gotten in the way of being able to relate in your full capacity, seeing that person as you originally did, or maybe even creating it fully, even better, exactly in the ideal way for yourself and the other person. And again, that is a miraculous process. So if you'd like to get this help for any relationship that you're enduring, you're suffering through, or feeling you've messed up isn't what it was or what it should be, yeah, we can actually fix that. We can fix that. So I look forward to seeing you. Just contact me through my website, dexsessions.com. Just get in touch and wait for the miracles to happen.